Mr. Bradshaw at AddSomeToYourIncome.com here to answer the question, how much money, how much income should a family of 6 have? I'm going to start off by connecting with you. I'll share a story of 2 different men. I call it the tale of 2 men. I'll look at poverty and what the guidelines are for poverty to let you know if you are indeed making less than the poverty line that's set up by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. And then I will give you a dollar amount, an actual dollar amount based on studies out of Princeton University that you should be making. An actual, this is how much you should be making. I'm also going to have just a little bit of fun about how much should teachers make. Not going to make it a completely separate episode, but just kind of fold it in here. All right, let's dive in. So how much income should a family of 6 make? Let me connect with you a little bit. I'll put myself larger on the screen again. Hi, I also have 4 children. I am a teacher. I live on a teacher's salary. We take care of ourselves outside of that with other things that I'm doing, like this work right now. I feel more connected with you than anyone else right now. How am I saying this? What am I saying? I'm saying of all the videos that people are watching, this one is here because you search for how to make more. How much money should you make when you are a family of 6? And I am a family of 6. I've asked this very question when I talk about poverty in a moment. I looked at it. I did my homework. I wanted to know, am I living in poverty? Because I sure feel like I am on my teacher's salary, where we have so little. It's so hard to make ends meet, and we're in such want. And I felt like we were in poverty. We'll get to that in just a moment. So, welcome, and I feel connected with you. Feel free to reach out to me and comment, and here we go. We're on this journey together. Let me answer your question. All right, so 2 men, the tale of 2 men. So one gentleman was rich, the other was poor. The rich gentleman, when he died, he had made his wife promise him that she would put all his money in the coffin. So on the day of the funeral, she goes up and puts a box right into the coffin just before it gets closed. And her best friend's like, "What? Surely you didn't actually give him all the money?" And the lady said, "Well, promised him I would. So I put it all in my bank account and I wrote him a check. If he can cash it, he can spend it." That's one man dying, worried about the money. There's a story of another man, poor man, dying. And as he is on his deathbed, his rich friend comes to visit. And his rich friend is saying, "Oh, you've had such a poor life. You've struggled, and you've had it so rough." And the poor man, while dying, says, "I feel blessed. I feel blessed to have the life I've had." Because the poor man knew that the rich man had struggled, broken home, the struggle to keep up appearances of rich when really it just caused him to get more and more debt. And the loss of friends and people who just couldn't trust him because he was rich. And the poor man said, "I'm grateful. I have friends like you and a life well lived." And dies and ends up leaving to his family more money than the rich man. Because when riches came to him, he kept up the same appearances. Which one are you? Are you seeking just to be rich? You just want lots of money? Are you able to, when the money comes, still live the way you've always lived? have that money be able to be a blessing to others instead of being greedy for yourself. Learn to be generous. Enough with stories and deep thinking. Let's actually look at this. Poverty. All right, living hand to mouth is sometimes called, right? You're really just down to the bottom dollar, down to the bottom of the barrel, as my parents would say. Right? You want to be comfortable. You want to be prosperous. You want to just be well enough off, right? So I'm going to show you the number for poverty. According to the Department of Health and Human Services, it puts out a guideline for what's called the poverty threshold. If you make less than this and there are this many people in your household, you are in poverty. One person, it's 12,700-ish. And when you get to 6 people, the number is $35,160. If you are not making $35,160 and you have a family of 6, you are living in poverty. Reach out and get resources. They are available for people who live on that little amount of money. And the Department of Health and Human Services could be your first start for that. And your local, state, and city programs will have things for you that you qualify for because you are in poverty. I'm just saying that so that you know it's time to get some help. Moving back to our numbers here, I told you about my teacher salary. I make $40,000 as a teacher. Obviously, that's not the only money I have coming in. I am doing lots of other things to add to my income on the side. And yet, the teacher salary, if that was the only thing we're living on, is right so close, so close to being in poverty. And when I first looked this up and I was looking up the definition of poverty, poverty is the state of one with insufficient resources. I thought I lived in poverty. I had the mentality that I was poor. Helping me was looking this up and discovering I'm not poor. I am middle class on my teacher's salary alone. And it helped to free up my mind to realize, okay, you know, we really are actually taken care of. We've got nice clothes. We're not down to the last things. We're not living in rags. I got a decent house. We eat. We have food. We're all right. We're all right. And it was this big moment for me. Maybe it'll be a big moment for you right now too. I have enough. You have enough. And yet we're not happy. And so we get to the study done in how much is really enough. So there was a study done by Princeton University to research how much more happiness a family has when they make more money. And up until what point does it no longer increase their happiness? So when you make more money, it means more happiness, was the whole premise. And they studied this and found it to be true, up to a certain dollar amount. And that amount is $75,000. What is $75,000? Well, let's get back to me for a moment, if you don't mind. How much income should a teacher make? Right? So let's say teaching is just babysitting. And let's say at a fairly decent pay in 2020, although this video will be posted in 2021, as we're right close to it right now. I'm mumbling and going on too much. Let me get back to the topic. $20 a kid per day. Okay? And let's say teachers only work 100 days a year, because that's what we do, 180 days a year. Let's say they have 25 students on average through their classes and such, although those are decent numbers and most teachers would be glad to only have 25. Some have fewer than that, but let's just say 25 students. And, okay,